12 noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West.
And this is Reprint.
This isn't breaking headlines. This is a second look with context added for perspective.
This is Reprint, edited after the headlines.
Good morning to the West Coast and good afternoon to the East Coast. This is your host, Victor Flavius. I am here for the Reprint. Crystal will be joining me in a little bit. She has a couple of things she had to do today, so she'll be on in a few, but it's right now just me for a few. Rockin' solo dolo. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's Monday. Long weekend. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I had a quiet weekend out and about with the family, stuff like that. Had a chance to watch a little bit of the recap on the Roots picnic. Jay-Z all over the internet going crazy. People are talking about Nicki Minaj this and Drake that, and then at the same time, I saw Kanye West's performance in I think it was Turkey. 90,000 people, 100 and something thousand people sold out, and it looked amazing. But anyhow, we'll get into all of that today. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope that you had a great weekend. Hope it was restful. Hope you spent time with family, got outside in nature, unplugged. Because the week is gonna be, moving so fast towards us. My weekend wasn't too bad. Again, like I said, I was outdoors a little bit, spent time with family, and I just was trying to get my bearings for Monday. All this Jay-Z talk when I saw the performance, I had my my take on that, but I have A.R. Shaw that's coming on to this morning. As a matter of fact, he is going to be in the building in 2 seconds. I'm gonna pull him up so we can get into this Jay-Z conversation. Anyhow, let me get him on the stage. A.R., what's going on? How are you this morning?
Man, everything's good this way. How about yourself?
I am doing well, man. How was your weekend? First of all, Saturday, how was your weekend?
I mean, like every weekend was good, man. I think Jay-Z pretty much, he took over the weekend.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. I have a lot of thoughts on that. I had a conversation with a friend of mine Saturday night after I saw the performance, and I don't know. I didn't like it.
Let's get into it.
Let's be honest, right? I saw the freestyle and I was like, okay, the freestyle said a lot, but to me, the freestyle didn't show me a Hove that's grown. It showed me a different. I don't know what I saw. I didn't like it. To me, the performance that freestyle was just. It just wasn't. It was mid to me. I'll be honest. I'll be straight honest. I like Jay-Z. I think he's one of the greats, but that freestyle was very, very mid. What do you think?
So all right. So I'm gonna approach it two ways. So I think in terms of just like if we're talking about complexity in terms of rhyme skills, rhyme patterns that we know Jay-Z is accustomed to in terms of what we used to coming from Jay-Z in terms of perfection and style and lyricism. No, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best effort that we've seen from Jay-Z.
Right.
But at the same time, it was effective. So the point, so you got to think about it. So when you do music or when you do art, I think the biggest thing is to be effective, meaning that you either made people pay attention to it or you made people talk about it. Okay. That's the point of art, is really to like get your point across. And I think with that freestyle, although it wasn't, I don't think it, like I said, it was, I agree with you. I don't think it was like his best work in terms of just, highlighting his what he can do as a lyricist. But I
Right.
think it was effective because of what it did at that time and moment in terms of his getting his message and his point across. So I think
Okay.
that was kind of like if you talk about that, if you look at it from that lens, I think he definitely made an impact.
Now, okay. Do you think he should have had that freestyle at the beginning or the middle of the show? Because it kind of didn't. It took people a while to understand what he was basically saying in the freestyle. That's what to me was mid about it. Not that Jay-Z's a rapper. We know he can rap. We know
Yeah.
he got bars. We know we know that anything he says is not just because he's gonna say it. It's with purpose. It's with, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. But the way how he did it, to me, it was kind of like people were like going back and like, what did he say? Like I didn't get what he was, and it took a while for the internet to catch on. I mean, it literally did. Like usually it's like, okay, we hear you, and wow. Now it's like, okay, who's he shooting at, and why is he shooting? And it was too many ifs. And I think in a day and age right now, with a person like Jay-Z, I honestly feel if you're gonna shoot. Don't do subs. I mean, you're too big for subs. You're Jay-Z. One, you're Hove. You're Hove, you're Jay-Z. You're the GOAT, right? And at the same time, you're a 56-year-old man. Like, you don't have anything to prove. So why not just say what's on your mind plainly and let it be? Like,
no, I think you're right. I think in that sense, I think you would have a point. If we compare what Kendrick did versus what Jay, like Kendrick, and we go back to Kendrick that I think it was 2013 Control verse.
Right.
When Kendrick was like, look, I'm better than everybody that's my peer. He said, I'm better than Drake, I'm better than Mac Miller, I'm better than J. Cole. He said, y'all my peers, but I'm trying to kill all of y'all. And he called them out by name.
Yep.
So in that sense, it's like, I think Kendrick's approach is a bit different in terms of Kendrick has thrown subliminals too now in terms of, how he's going about it. I think it's a rapper thing in terms of putting things out there and kind of making the audience figure it out. And I think it's also something like it's a gift too, right? It's something that you do as poetic, making people think twice about, okay, what is he actually saying? But I think it was kind of blatant about who he was talking to at what points in time. Like once you listen back to it, I think it was like, all right, we know he's talking about Drake. We know he's talking about Dame Dash. We know he's talking about Nicki Minaj, Oskino Sparks. Like we know the people, Kanye West. Like we know that these are the people that he's talking to based on how he's framing these lyrics. He doesn't necessarily have to say Kanye West. We know when he says maniac, he's talking about Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, it's also, like I said, it's lyricism. Like it's kind of, it's something that a lot of poets do, a lot of lyricists do.
A lot of people are breaking down his, I saw academics breaking down his affiliation with Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, and, how could we, be, checking for Hov if he's a MAGA, person, and whatever the case is. What do you think about that? Because I haven't done enough research to know if he's MAGA or not, but he did mention Nicki Minaj or, sub at her, saying it was it came from the top or whatever. I don't know. What do you think?
So his affiliation with Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, his father went to prison, and Jared Kushner was on this. He's on this campaign about like
redemption.
Yeah, just like criminal justice reform.
Okay,
but it's really based off of his father. Like he wanted to get his father out of jail, right?
Right. Okay.
And so it was like this criminal justice reform meeting or banquet, and Jared Kushner was at the table with Beyonce and Jay-Z, and everybody was like, "Yo, why are y'all at the table with this dude? Like he's literally trying to take away rights." So
right.
It's kind of like against like some of the things that you align yourself with. So to me, it wasn't bad optics for them to like stay at the table with him because of what he's doing politically.
Right.
So I do understand that pushback, and I think people have the right to push back on things like that in terms of where do you actually stand when it comes to people who are in political power, who are actually trying to take away rights from the
Right.
people from the communities that you come from. So I think we do have a right to call that out. But at the same time, I think he has a right to call Nikki out too, because
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Nikki is like, I think her affiliation with right wing is self-serving in a lot of ways. I mean, we all know
Yeah.
that, she has family members with criminal records that she probably wants to kind of help out in that area. So it's just, like that Nicki Minaj situation. I don't think it was an issue him taking a shot at Nicki, because of
No.
where she came from and where she stands now is just like totally opposite.
But also Nikki's been shooting at him directly about the whole title for a while. It's been a while. She's been talking about Jay-Z for a minute. About the title situation, her ownership part in that, the what do you call it, the blackmailing, whatever type of thing with the music stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even Jay-Z sitting with Jared Kushner, I don't know well, you just mentioned the business affiliation was because of prison reform.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, they could have made a point to, I guess, say that was what it was and be pushing that more, so people understand that it wasn't just me sitting here with Jared, But at the same time, people have to understand too that once you get into a certain realm of people like millionaires and billionaire status, you sit with the sharks. I mean, you sit with people that you might not want to sit with. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Everybody just can't be. And that's part of Donald Trump's whole thing. It's like he is the businessman, so he can meet with anybody and get the job done. And a lot of times it's dirty. A lot of times it's not what we like. But people don't understand, to become a millionaire, to become a billionaire, you got to do a lot of things that might not be ethical. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But overall, I mean, let's start with this. So I'm gonna put some stuff up on the screen just so people can see. This was the Roots picnic, just some optics or whatever, and a lot of people were there. About 40,000 people a day. That's what they were saying. Hove is dressed in, I don't know. We got to talk about that because people were talking about his hair. State Property came out, which was big. His affiliation. Meek Mill was there. That was Philly's own, Philly's finest, Meek Mill. Brandy and Monica showed up too, looking like a throwback. Brandy and Monica, I like that. It was a lot of people at this event. They say it was 40,000 a night. Was it 3 nights?
I think it was 2 nights.
2 nights. Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu was there as well. But Jay-Z had on some interesting clothes and his hair.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that for a minute. I know we about music, but we got to talk about the whole culture, right? How do you look like this, right? And you was looking like this before. I'm trying to understand. There's a conversation online about his hair being fake, right?
Yeah.
Speculation. I don't know. You have your hair. Is it braided or is it
I got locks?
Locked. In your professional opinion, his hair, is that real? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. So basically, you just got it combed out. And now, the thing is, with locks, you can comb your locks out. Most people just cut them just because it's like quicker.
Right.
But there's a process that you could go through to get your locks combed out. Like it's a daunting. Like it probably took them a few days. They probably started, stopped. That's why he performed Friday at this private show with the Roots. It was like 200 people there. He had a hoodie on, so you couldn't really see his hair.
Okay.
So I'm sure like they were probably like working on his hair like all week. This like combing it out, like they washing it, combing it out. So it's a process that can be done, but you just have you have to have it. But I think what it is so Jay-Z, I think a couple of years back he said something about he wasn't going to cut his hair until he dropped an album.
Right.
And so he grew the locks. So I think this hair, him coming out with the fro was almost like, all right, I'm kind of switching things artistically.
Okay.
I'm in this album mode now, so I really speculate that this hair is tied to a project that's coming.
Okay.
And like I said, he's doing this in an artistic way. He's presenting himself differently. He looks like a lot of people saying he looks like Bone Thugs and Harmony. He got that 1995 West Coast gangster look, you know, that Ice Cube, Eazy-E look from the 90s. Big afro, kind of like Dickie jacket. You know, that's straight out of like, 1994, 1995 West Coast era.
When I saw it, I said, wait a minute, is he trying to be what's his name? What's his name? Picture Eazy-E. I was like, this is an Eazy-E look right here. It's Eazy-E, and we was making fun of it, but I just didn't understand why his hair looked the way it was. I'm like, could locks come out that easy, or and then somebody made there's a video online where Choke No Joke, I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
He's talking about his hair and it's fake. He was like, he was like Jay-Z's how old? And he has no gray hair showing. He's like, look at me, I have all these grays. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I
mean, he probably dyed his hair. He could dye his hair. I don't think that's, but you can't take locks out.
Okay.
Like I know people who actually gone through that process of like, sitting there, and then like I actually was one of my stylists who does my locks. She took hers out, and she told me that it took her some days and weeks to kind of just like, and her daughter had to help her. And she, like one day she came in with a big fro, just like Jay-Z. I was like, you took your locks out. So so I've seen it. I've seen people who actually do it. Like, so yeah, my stylist, she did it. She took her locks out and came with a big fro, just like Jay.
Wow. All right, so let's get back to the music real quick. So tell me about these. Break down the bars for me. What's your biggest takeaway on his freestyle?
Well, I mean, to me, so I think Jay-Z understands moments, and I think we talked about this last time in terms of like hip hop when I was talking about how that Drake dropping 3 albums. Although I don't think it was like a great project, I think it still made people pay attention to hip hop and made people talk about what was happening within the culture. And for hip hop to grow, you kind of need these moments that are like larger than life, where it's just like so many people are like paying attention to what's being done within the culture. And I think regardless of if this freestyle was great or if it was mid, I think Jay-Z got the point across to the point where it's like everybody has a discussion about it. Everybody has a take on it. Everybody is trying to figure out the bars. Everybody, so it's like he created a moment in hip hop that's bigger than hip hop. Now it's something that global trade magazines are like highlighting what happened. Like these are publications that don't really cover Black culture on a day-to-day basis are now talking about the Roots Picnic because of what Jay-Z did. So I think he definitely got his point across in that sense.
Do you think that anything Kanye West has done has overshown that moment? Because I saw on my feed, came across Kanye West's recent the Turkey performance, and it looked like Super Bowl compared to the Picnic, and I was like, wow, this is the performance that, I mean, they had fireworks and the optics looked crazy.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well, no, I think Kanye is, regardless of his personal issues, he's a creative genius. Like he knows how to like put these creative moments in together. I don't think it overshadowed Jay-Z. I think the Jay-Z moment was actually bigger in America, because it was in America. Like, so it's kind of like, although, like say Kanye was overseas and he did it. Let's say if Kanye would have did that same thing in New York, like let's say there's, I don't even know if there's a place that could hold that many people in New York.
Well, no.
But, or even if he did something like that in LA, I think it would have been a bigger moment for Kanye. But because it was overseas, I don't think that moment really resonated, even though it broke records. I think it was like one of the largest concerts in history, from a global standpoint. So he broke records, but at the same time, it was like the Jay-Z moment was bigger. because it was in Philly. You got, you know, national media paying attention to it. And so I think Kanye definitely did something from a creative standpoint, but I don't think it overshadowed what Jay-Z did.
What's your what are people in Atlanta saying about this weekend? You know, the streets, I'm sure they're talking about it. You know, Atlanta has a lot of rappers. T.I. recently cut his hair and went back to the what was that? The fade or whatever that. Yeah. Yeah. So what are people in Atlanta saying about this?
Well, no, I mean, I think people all over are just kind of like, you know, regardless of where you're from, are just like talking about it in some form or fashion, like trying to see what Jay-Z is going to do next. And like, you know, just kind of, you know, what does this mean in terms of dissing? Because if you go back, you think about it, like the last time Jay-Z did this was 2001. This is for the, you know, this, let's know I'm an old head. This is 2001, or, you know, Summer Jam. So Summer Jam was like that thing that particularly for New York, it was like that. It was like the time when it was like you created these big moments, right? So Summer Jam is when Jay-Z first took his shot at Nas, and then everybody was like, "Oh man!" So he like put it out on the air that, you know, there was a beat between Nas and Jay-Z that was at Summer Jam, and then after that freestyle at Summer Jam, Jay-Z drops the blueprint and puts out Takeover. And so now we got a full-on rap battle between Nas and Jay-Z. And then, of course, Nas, I think, won the battle when he dropped that Ether. So he dropped Ether. Of course, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, this could be a prelude to something bigger in terms of, is he going to actually come out with more heat? Like, you know, so the thing about hip-hop artists, when they jab at you, most great hip hop artists, they have something in the chamber in terms of, hey, Crystal.
Hey. Just joining a little late, you guys. Just keep going, keep going.
Okay, yeah. So just to bring you up to speed, I was talking about this freestyle and how a lot of times when it comes to rappers, when they do a subliminal freestyle, that's usually like a jab, and they have like a lot coming after that. We think about what Kendrick did with Like That. You know, Kendrick jumped on a song with Future and Metro Boomin, and then Like That, he said, "Look, man, F the big three, it's just Big Me."
Big Me, yeah.
That was a jab. Kendrick had we didn't know that Kendrick had a whole arsenal just ready to throw at Drake. He had a whole arsenal just ready. So what I'm saying is, I think Jay-Z has a whole arsenal of diss records that he has, that everybody that he took a shot at, I think he has more ammunition in the chamber. Like I think this is just a jab that he's throwing, that look, if we want to take it there, we can go there. So I'm just saying, I don't think this is like the last that we're going to hear this.
Yeah, go ahead, Crystal. You're muted. I can't hear you. Crystal, you're muted. Sorry.
I don't know. You may have already answered this because I'm just joining. I had to run to get here. But I would love to hear your thoughts on the fact that Jay-Z just did this interview maybe a month or so ago where he talked about rap beef being not something that we should engage in. Almost seemed a little bit critical of Kendrick in that way, right? And so to me, that was a little strange. Like and then seeing that he came guns blazing, you know, at the Roots picnic, which I wasn't sure what to expect, you know, with him. I didn't know what exactly he was going to do. I knew that it was something that he had been preparing for a while, but I just, you know, the interview, it just happened. And I thought that was just a little strange. Actually, I was surprised because I really kind of put Jay-Z strategically on a different level. And so I was really surprised to see him come out. It's almost like Drake may have prompted him to kind of, you know, get vocal. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. And that was one of the first things that came to my mind too, is in terms of like what Jay-Z said in that GQ interview in terms of rap battling, and it not really, I guess, rap battles not really being needed now because it can go to the extreme. And I think his point was that, you know, once it gets to a point where you got everybody weighing, you know, so many people from the outside weighing in on a beef, it kind of like takes the fun out of it. And I did agree in that sense because I thought the Kendrick Lamar Drake thing kind of became so big because it was like people who were outside of the culture weighing in on the culture. And I'm like, y'all don't even know what's happening on the, you know what I'm saying? So you got so many people having opinions about something that they don't really have a history or understanding about. So I was definitely critical with Jay-Z about that too, because battle rap is something that he's always done. Jay-Z has always done subliminals. Like he's been doing it from day one, dropping subliminals at people. But I think he understands moments too. And Crystal, you wasn't here, but I was saying, like, you know, hip hop, they need these big moments. And I think he knew that if he came out and he did this freestyle, that it was going to create a moment. He knew that it was going to create traction, that people were going to be talking about it. So regardless of what he said in that interview, he's still going to go back to his instincts. And so I'm gonna take his own lyric and point it back at him. He had this lyric where he said, you know, you were who you were before you got here. Like Jay-Z is still gonna be Jay-Z. Like he's still gonna have, regardless of he put that suit on, put that tie on, he's still that dude from Brooklyn. And we saw that dude from Brooklyn on Saturday night at the Roots picnic. And so, yeah, it was hypocritical of him, but at the same time, that's what he's gonna resort to because that's who he is in terms of a rapper, in terms of somebody who's from Brooklyn. He's always going to have that combative edge.
That's one of my favorite lines. I think it applies across the board with life. And to your point, definitely applies to him. Did you guys feel that it was, you know, there's this conversation about hip hop when it comes to age and being relevant and how can you still tap into the culture? A lot of people felt like the freestyle was not necessarily what they would expect from old Jay-Z. It might not have been quite as clever, quite as lyrical. Anybody have thoughts on that?
Well, go ahead. Go ahead, because we talked about this earlier.
Yeah. No, I was telling AR earlier that my thoughts on it was, you know, it's kind of a weird thing. I thought it was mid. I thought that, you know, that the bars weren't really great bars. But like AR said, it's something you got to go back and listen to over and over and over and over, which I think is probably why he did it the way he did it. So you can go back and listen to it over and over and over again and dissect it. Because right now online, people are dissecting it everywhere you go. Variety magazine, Rolling Stone, everybody's dissecting it and trying to break it down. In terms of I thought if he had did those bars in the middle of his set, like stopped the whole thing and then did the bars, it might have been a little bit bigger because people have had time to digest his hair and his outfit and you know, his voice and just go over a couple of songs. But he came out with that right off the bat, so it threw people off. And I think for me, it took me a few times to listen to it to like, what is he actually saying? To, you know, I know he can rap. I know what he says is gonna make sense in the end, but in the moment of time when you're rapping or hearing for the first time, your brain doesn't connect what you're saying because I'm not. If I'm a Jay-Z fan, but not a big super fan, I'm not gonna get all the subliminals because I don't know who he's talking about. I might get the Nicki Minaj one with the MAGA, I might maybe get the Kanye one with the Maniac, and of course Dame Dash teeth falling out part. But other than those things, you're not gonna get all of it. You're gonna go back again. And it's going to be another 2 months of cycle of breaking down, you know, like how Kendrick had the year of us breaking down his lyrics. And I think to AR's point, that was probably what his point was. That's me. What do you think, AR?
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of the age situation, I think we're now at a point where hip hop has aged well in terms of artists being able to continuously have a career. I think in the 80s and the 90s, you know, once you got 30, you couldn't rap anymore. Like it was just like you had to be like, you know, in your 20s to rap. But I think now because we've all grown up with hip hop, that it's become just a part of what we are as a culture. And so I think it's not you know, odd to see, you know, T.I. at 45 having a run. Or you know, Jeezy, you know, being in Vegas having his own run in his residency in his 40s. You know, Nas having a run in his 40s. I think Nas is 50 now. So it's like we've at this point we've come accustomed to like artists growing up with artists. So I don't think I think the age thing is really kind of like a passive aggressive shot because it's like it's come to me, it's like almost like, you know, how do you diss Michael Jordan? Oh, you got a bald head. Like, doesn't really like it doesn't really affect him, because it's like, if that's the thing that you go at, it's like, it's really like, you're not really, you know,
but hold on a second. Michael Jordan, you can diss him because he's not a ball player anymore. He's a retired ball player and he has a bald head, but Jay-Z's an active rapper. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if Michael Jordan's still playing as a 50-year-old player, he's in the game, but Michael Jordan hasn't been in the game in the last 30 years. Or
well, no. So let me make the point clear. So it's kind of like, what I'm saying is, because Michael Jordan is so high up, like, you can only diss him on, like, you can't really diss him because he's so high up, right? And so when somebody has such a, you know, a well standing, it's like, it's kind of hard to like take shots at him, because like, how do you really diss this person? Because, you know, like Barack Obama, like, you got big ears, like, all right, but he's still Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, it's like when people talk about Jay-Z's age, it's really like a passive aggressive shot, because you don't have anything else to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really, what are you going to diss him on? Like, he got Beyonce, he's rich, like
is that
you know
his fault,
what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard to diss this dude.
Yeah.
And so for the people who go at his age, to me, it's like, all right, you're really taking a passive aggressive approach to something of somebody who has a high standing, and it's not really a clever approach to me, because it's like, you dissing him about his age. Okay, the point is to grow up. Like, that's the point. Is to
but I kind of agree with Victor, just because like you can't talk about Michael Jordan because he's not. I'm not going to get in the sandbox and play with you. Like, I'm a senior. You are a kindergartner. I'm not coming down there. And I think that's kind of what I expect from Jay-Z. I don't expect him to get muddy. Like, I feel like, you know, part of maturing is I'm past that. I'm not even going to dignify you with an answer, right? That's what I have always loved, because it takes a lot of patience and self-control not to be triggered. And I think he's somebody that does that really, really well, which is why... Because it's like, I can't say anything about you because you're not even going to play with me. You're not going to go back and forth with me. But once you decide to come down to the sandbox and you want to play, now I can say, well, you're playing with old tools. We don't use that anymore. I think that, you know, to Tammy's point, the sacred of it all, I saw Choke No Joke talking about, how does this dude not have any white hair? Like, you're trying to be young. You're trying to fit in. And there was the whole conversation about the locks. Were they fake? Were they? I don't know, but it just all. He would not even be subject to this unless you came down and start trying to play on the ground. Like, you want to be retired and kind of like legacy and too
mystical,
touchable, but then you come down and you want to touch. So I was really shocked, because I'm like, that's not the mental game that I usually expect him to play. But to your point, AR, he probably has, this is setting up for something big. If he does Super Bowl, I'm gonna be like, you'll feel a little strange. Like, you took the opportunity. It's a business move, but it also was set up to kind of benefit you. And then even him, from allegedly, you know, we've heard that he, you know, has counseled others on not interacting, right? And then you go and you engage. It just, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, because right now it feels like the doctoral student has come down to elementary, and it's, I mean, Nicki Minaj, like Drake, Kanye, like, either do it or don't. And it feels like you kind of want to do it, but you also kind of want to be untouchable. But I kind of want to let you know, I'm kind of going to bring up what happened to Un, but then you're going to say I didn't do it. I'm very, but it just feels, I'm confused with the strategy which I don't like being confused with Jay-Z. I'm
not confused. Like, I think it's very obvious about what's happening here. Like, and I was telling Victor earlier, like this is a play for something else, for something bigger. Like, you know, there's projects coming, there's performances. Like, this isn't a one-off, because he doesn't, like, everything that Jay-Z does is strategic. Like, he doesn't just do things just for the sake of doing things. So, you know, even like I said, even if like I said, I don't think it was like the most lyrical, freestyle in terms of, like, we've seen him do better, right? But I think this he took this moment to say, okay, I want y'all to pay attention. And I think he understands what makes people pay attention. And sometimes it is playing in the mud. Sometimes it's being like, you know, if we take a, you know, I hate to bring up Trump, but it is what it is. Trump plays in the mud all the time. And that's the reason why he's in the highest seat in the land, because he plays in the mud all the time. So it's like, sometimes you can use that mud to your benefit. Sometimes you can get down and say, okay, I'm gonna do this to set something else up. And so I think that's what Jay-Z is doing. I don't think this, like I said, I don't think this is something that wasn't strategic. He thought this through. And I think he's had these bars for a while. And he was like, okay, I'm going to do it on the blackest platform that I could do it on, the Roots Picnic. It's like it's really a black festival. Like I've been to Roots Picnic multiple times.
Yeah.
It's probably 90% black. It's not, he didn't do it at Coachella. He did it at the Roots Picnic.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's not something that's just one off. And I don't think that it's, you know, for somebody like him, that's okay, that we should be removed from the culture, because what happens is you don't want to remove yourself too far. Kevin Hart is at a point now where he's removing himself too far from the culture, where he can't. Kevin is at a dangerous point where he can't come back.
Yeah.
Jay-Z is like, all right, I can still come back. You know what I'm saying? I can still put on my suit.
It felt very intentional of coming back, even the way he looked. Usually he looks like a soccer dad, you know what I mean? Like it felt like he was trying to show people, like, I'm still that dude from Brooklyn. Like, I'm still got the Marcy Park in me. Like, it's not artistic. I still got, and even him having, you know, the old Rockefeller team on stage with him, that's not what we've seen him doing as of late. We've seen him, you know, in the boardroom with billionaires. So I was just like, okay, so now you go get back with the, you know, Benny Siegel and Memphis Bleak is on stage. It definitely felt like he was trying to remind people, which I know he's to that. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm still him. And what'd you think about the hair choice, AR?
Yeah, we talked about the hair. Yeah, so so initially, like a few years back, he had a statement saying that he wasn't going to cut his hair until he was about to put out an album. That might have been like, I don't know. He told it to Gayle King, maybe 2022. It was like maybe like 4 years ago. He said, "Yeah, I'm not going to cut my hair until I put out an album, or if I'm in album mode." So I think him with putting out this combing out his locks, going with the old school, like I say, I think it was just like a 1990s West Coast look. I think it definitely hints that there's a project coming, that there's something else coming. So yeah, I think it was and I think it got people talking. So I think it was also a play on Beyonce's hair. She has a hairline. Is it
Sacred? Yeah.
So I think that was another play about he's using this.
There's photos of them combing his hair out. They've advertised that he used the detangler in Sacred.
Yeah.
Which, that doesn't feel gangster. It doesn't, but it's cool. It's kind of weird, but I'm okay with it. It just feels performative, but
you know what? I would say if he had rolled it out a little bit further, like you know how people announce an album and then it leaks, or back in the day when mixtapes were coming out, you might hear a leaked song. If that had happened with Jay-Z, with some of these lyrics, and then you saw photos of him combing his hair out, it would have been a different anticipation, because you've been like, what's going to happen? What's happening here? You know what I'm saying? To me, his last greatest or his last best track that I heard was on God Did with Khaled. That was when he spoke like about everything that was bothering him. You know what I'm saying? So this moment seemed a little lackluster to me. In terms of the wordplay and just the way how he put it out. Sorry, this some construction going on outside. But I it wasn't. I got to go back and watch it again. Jay-Z is a staple in our community, in our hip hop community. He's never gonna lose that position because of what he built. But like what Crystal said, it is contradictory a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're just $500,000 dinner conversation person, and you want people to respect your name, but at the same time you're out of the game, but then now you want to get back in the game, and I don't know, you just flip-flopping back and forth, and to me it's a little confusing. It is a little confusing. I mean, to the regular person watching, maybe not, but to a hip-hop person.
He just wants to have both. I think he wants to be almost like the God that is untouchable, but then also let you come down and let you know I can touch you.
Well, he got to roll out better. That's what his rollout has to be better. That's what it has to be.
We got to see more of it. We got to see more of it, to know. But I just want to, to wrap everything up, what do you think, what does this do now to the summer, AR, with Drake is, it's still rolling out. And what does this do to hip hop? And I saw, and speaking of that, I saw a great clip from LL Cool J that I sent. I know I sent to you, Victor.
I have it.
And can we play that clip really quickly?
Yeah.
You guys might want to record this. Make sure you're recording this or screen recording it or something so that you guys get it. I don't go live a lot. I haven't really been going live since, the pandemic, but this is something that came to my attention. It came to my attention that a DJ, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't think it's necessary. A DJ basically said that, a lot of the pioneers in hip hop are, they're dusty, or how can they be the person that, invented hip hop if, they don't have a lot of money. Or if they don't look or represent like they have a lot of dough, right? Let me explain something to you, and say this for you guys. Don't confuse someone's ability to develop a business model. Don't conflate. In other words, don't think just because somebody knows how to get money or fails to get money that they didn't make a contribution to the culture. No one discusses Miles Davis's bank account. We don't talk about John Coltrane's bank account. We don't talk about a lot of even rock musicians, a lot of them. We don't talk about their bank accounts. A lot of great country artists, we don't talk about their bank accounts. This idea that you have to have money or else you don't have any value is a bad idea, and it's kind of like, it's a misinformed way of looking at the world and the culture.
So I wanted to play that because I think when a lot of times the conversation with hip hop, it becomes who's most successful, right? So I think in terms of, even we had a conversation about Drake, it's like, well, he's most successful. He's selling. He got $1 billion, so that means he won. And I just wonder to both of you, as we wrap this segment, is there a connection with authenticity in hip hop, or do you think that we're past that point? And at this point, fans are only looking at success in terms of the numbers, the deal, what you got, because it seems those could be contradicting things. I'll Victor and then AR.
Yeah, my take on that is there's two different sides. There's legacy, and then there's the artist side, right? So you can be both, but a lot of times you separate the legacy act, like Jay-Z, T.I., Jeezy, people like that has been in the game for a while, versus the emerging artists, emerging music is coming out and growing, because hip hop is going to keep evolving and growing and changing. It's going to keep moving forward. So I think it can be both, but it has to be a clear definition as to what your goals are, Yeah. You're muted. Hold on. See.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I think things changed once hip hop became something that became a commodity and became something that taken by capitalism. And so once capitalism is involved, then you kind of lose that essence of what it started from and what it is, and who matters to this genre versus who doesn't matter. So I think, unfortunately, that's something that's been like a tug of war with the genre, with culture, in terms of money versus actual skills. And I think that's unfortunate. That's what's happened now with a lot of the young artists. It's not like a lot of skill level, but we hear a lot of flaunting of wealth or presumed wealth. We don't know if they're even wealthy or not. That's what they're talking about. And so, I think it's a missed opportunity in a lot of ways, in terms of hip hop like losing its way in terms of who's actually should be the leaders of this genre, who should be the leaders of this culture. And there's a lot of people who have been elevated who don't really have love for it, who don't really have love for Black people. And so, unfortunately, we just in this weird situation where it's like Wu-Tang say cash rules everything, but it's just like, unfortunately, it's it's taking precedent over actual skills. Because I think there was a time in hip hop where you actually had you had to have some type of skill level to be elevated. Now you don't really have to have skill; you just need to have popularity. And I think that's the unfortunate direction of hip hop.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. And I think that's why people like yourself are so necessary, AR, like people that are the accountability, right? Like the journalists that are not able to be swayed with what's popular or what is trending, but actually are historians, and able to talk about things from its inception and just keep it 100. Because I think we need that. We just need that conscious. It's hip hop's conscious. And so that's why I wanted you to be a part of this conversation, because I feel like we need more conscious. I mean, in everything, we got to have the fluff, we got to have the hype, but we also got to have the conscious. You know what I mean? We also got to have people to hold us accountable in every genre. I think that's what we saw happen with Kevin Hart. And we see a lot of comedians saying that's too far, you know what I mean? Because there has to be a conscious. It can't just all be about money and praising the commercialization, or we will lose the art form, in its entirety. So we appreciate you being a part of today, and definitely will refer to you as a resource for that hip hop's conscious here on the reprint. We appreciate it, AR.
But thank you, AR. Thanks so much for having me, man. We'll catch up.
Okay,
cool. All right, thank you. Peace.
All right, so now you guys know what it is. It's June 1st. It is June 1st, which means we have all started. Those of you that are starting with us, we have started our vacation. We have our leader here, James Hatchell, is joining us. Happy Monday, James.
Hello, it's the first of the month. Wake up.
Wake up. Let's go.
How we doing?
We're doing good. How you doing?
Oh my goodness, I can't hear you.
Crystal, are you?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, so I'm interested to know, first of all, when he jumps back on, I'm not sure what happened. How many of our viewers joined? All right. Okay.
There we go.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we're back. I'm sorry.
We are back.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes we gotta reset things.
We got to reset. We had to
That's
reset
how it is
this
sometimes.
morning.
Yep.
So first of all, James, did you get any reach outs from our audience, from our reprint family and beyond, for people that are excited about getting started today?
Absolutely. Had an outpour actually of a lot of people. So thank you everybody that came in, and we got the community set up with all the information, and I'll be going live in my school community and updating all the coursework, because a lot of times with me, it's like I'll write a program, but since I'm actually walking this out with everybody, I'll be updating it daily. And this is just going to be the most effortless fat loss situation that everybody has ever endeavored upon. And I'm so excited about it, because it's a fitcation.
Yeah.
Listen, his yoke is easy. So we are.
His yoke is easy.
His yoke is
Those
easy,
words sound so easy.
I'm telling you. just lock in and stay tuned. And yes, that's the
Okay.
vibe though. That's the
Well, you know
vibe.
what? Today is the first day, and you guys know
Mhm.
I've been here for a little over 2.5 weeks. So I'm happy to have some company with me on this journey. We
Mhm.
need some words from you today. This is the first day. Motivation coach, let us know what where should we be at in our mindset? What should people be doing? How do we get this started before we see you next Monday?
So the biggest thing, okay, that we all
Mhm.
can do is relate to stress better.
Mm.
Okay. When it comes to losing weight and getting in shape, something that is easy to overlook is that life ain't gonna stop. The
Tell me about
spouse
it.
ain't going nowhere, work ain't going nowhere, all that stuff ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Okay. And when you're heavy, you typically relate to food and stress in one direction, in one way.
Mhm.
And when you're in shape, you relate to food and stress in another way. Okay.
Mhm.
So often we attack like, oh, I'm gonna go no sugar, I'm gonna only gonna eat whole foods, but we're not talking about, but what's gonna happen when life kicks you in the stomach?
Yeah.
That is what we really want to just sit with, right?
Mhm.
And whenever life does kick you in the stomach, either A, just go for a walk, right? Choose a fit alternative to the Ben and Jerry's ice cream and
Mm.
to the wallowing and to even if you got to call your homegirl to vent, walk around while you vent. Okay. Like we're just going to relate to stress
Okay.
better. That's probably the first thing that I would tell anybody is just relate to stress better. Think about your relationship with food, right? Like food is not a treat, it is fuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It
Yep.
is
Yep.
fuel. And exercise does not justify big back behavior. Like we're gonna get this together
Big
this
back
summer.
behavior. I like. Woo.
We're gonna get this together because a lot of times I've had clients who will exercise and do the whole plan and then fall off on the weekend like, well, but I did the whole plan this week. I'm like, yeah, but it you lost a pound and Monday through Friday, then you gained a pound and a half Saturday, Sunday. What are we doing? Right.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it's using food as fuel. If we use food as fuel,
Can I
relate to
say?
stress properly,
mm,
you'll be fine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This has been difficult. No, I was just adding to that. That's been probably what's the most difficult parts for me. So I text James on our weekly meeting. I was like, "What can I eat?" Because I am someone that I didn't realize it. I will reward myself with food, right? So if I get something done, I'll have something that tastes good. It's just how I've been interacting with myself. I give myself a reward. Like, if I'm
Hmm.
getting ready to watch a movie that I like, I want to eat something good that's through that. That it sounds small, but it is really big because it has been a way of life. So I was
Hmm.
trying to figure out and I realized that my favorite snack that I was just going to and eating in bed as I'm watching a favorite movie was
Hmm.
popcorn. And I just did not understand why I can't eat popcorn. But yeah, so how do we, is this something that we have to do like cold turkey or this or what would you suggest? I mean, I've been doing so I started apricots and I got fruit, so I will eat some fruit and drink some water and then just telling myself I'm not hungry, right? I just want
Hmm.
something to eat while I'm writing or while I'm watching Dutton Ranch, or something like that.
Hmm.
How can people start to make these changes so that it's lifestyle changes and not just to get through the vacation?
Got you. So the easiest way to renew your mind, you can't think your way into different thoughts. It doesn't work that way. You
Mm.
have to behave yourself into different thoughts. Okay. That means, just like you said, putting down the popcorn, even if it's skinny pop, right? It even has skinny in the title. Like, oh my God, why is this not okay? Anywho, um, but initially that didn't seem like a good idea, for example.
Mhm.
But you still adapted the behavior and you keep doing the behavior. And then the great thing about fitness and losing weight is once the behavior works, it reinforces it. And that's what changes your mind about the past behaviors, right? So it has to be really an about face or a 180 from the norm, which is going to feel weird and awkward until it starts to pay off. And you're like, and then it becomes easy. That's literally that aha moment is the renewing of the mind. But it starts with the behavior, which leads to the success, the confidence, and then the new thought and new habit. That's exactly how you do it.
Faith without works is dead.
Hmm?
Faith without works is dead.
Every day. Every day.
Yeah.
And you don't really believe it until you do it.
Yeah.
And that's that's really the crux of the matter. Like, you can tell me what you're thinking all day, but I can look at your life and see what you believe.
Yeah.
Right. And
What is your take on steps? So I've been making an appointment the last 4 days to do 15,000 steps a day.
okay.
I've been religious. I've been going at it. Yesterday I went for a long walk. The day before, and today I'm gonna do the same thing. I already got my 15,000 steps in yesterday. As I can show on the screen here, I got my 15. I did this yesterday. This was yesterday.
Look
This
at you, look at you.
that was my walk. That wasn't my
My
whole
man got
day.
receipts. Let's go.
Hey, I try to like you said, I try to get up in the morning and go do my stretches first and then go for my walk. And it's been getting easier. It's been easier and getting better and easier as I go for my walks. And it's not as burdensome as I thought it was gonna be. I work out, but cardio is a big thing. Trying to curb the sweets and and the dense foods, because sometimes even I find that eating too much like nuts and dense foods can also be a problem as well too, if you eat too much of those things. So what's your thoughts on steps, like getting steps in for the day?
So I was actually looking at a study just this morning. It's called the Poncer Paradox. All right. So without getting all highfalutin and all peer-reviewed study-ish, it basically says the harder someone works out, they tend to do less activity throughout the day. So whenever you work out really, really hard, but then you decrease your steps and you decrease your activity throughout the day, what should have been a net caloric expenditure of, let's say, 500 calories ends up being only 300 calories, which then you're like, I'm working out so hard, but I'm not seeing the results. And that's why people, get discouraged and all that. But you have to look at your total daily expenditure and your total daily activity, right? So that's a quick and dirty version of that theory. So I say that to say, as long as you keep your workout intensity relative from like medium to high, as well as getting the steps in, oh my goodness, you cooking with gas, my brother. You are cooking with gas, because that is the key as we get older. It's really just stoking the fire of our metabolism all day long. Right? When we're younger, we can afford to just work out 30 minutes, an hour, and be done for the day. Because you're young, so you're still busy throughout the day, right? Like in college, you work out, but then you're walking from class to class to class. And so it's easier. But now, if we work out and then we just sit all day, then we're not burning calories all day. And so getting those steps in, plus an organized workout every day, is going to be a recipe for massive success for sure. And then when it comes to the nuts, you got to invest in a food scale.
Right. Yeah. Got one of
And
those.
then weigh them. I wouldn't recommend more than like 2 ounces in any one setting.
Okay.
And you got to pick a struggle. So what am I saying? You can have protein and fat, or you can have fat by itself. But you don't want to have fat and carbs together. So for example, if you have, like, my dinner tonight is going to be sardines and peanuts, because it's going to be a lot of protein, some good omega-3 fats from the sardines, and then the fat from the peanuts is because I want to munch on something. Okay. But if I had carbs in that meal, then the carbs are going to release insulin, which is going to make my body hold on to the fat and store the fat. So that's why mixing, those trail mixes, that have like the dried fruit and the
Bad for
nuts
you.
and
Yeah.
everything, and it's like the omega-3 matrix, and it looks all healthy. In reality, it's actually a recipe for your body to store all those fats in the nuts. So you really want to have nuts by themselves or nuts with protein and limit it to like 1 to 2 ounces at a time. And you should be fine.
How do you have that for dinner though? How do you
What you
eat?
mean?
How do you eat the nuts and the sardines and have enough to satiate you for dinner? Like how much do you eat? If you have nuts and
Um,
sardines for dinner, do you have like 4 cans of sardines and like? And I'm
no,
serious.
right?
Like,
No, I know. That's a good question. So you have to be in charge,
okay,
right? Like I'm in charge of my meals.
okay,
So I have 2 cans of sardines and I have 2 ounces of peanuts, and I eat very slow.
mm,
And what, because your stomach has its own little nervous system. So when you eat fast, then you don't give your stomach time to tell your brain that you're full.
okay.
Okay. So I eat very slow, very leisurely. And I know my ex-wife used to hate it. It was so funny. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. Okay. So
I was going to say, this is obviously not a dinner that a woman is preparing because I don't think I would ever prepare sardines and nuts for my honey bunny, my husband. My husband's not going to eat that, but that is definitely a meal that a bachelor is preparing for himself.
It's easy to
exactly.
make.
It
Very
is.
bachelor friendly.
Shoot,
This
I
is
used
not
I usually have like 2 cans of sardines and some olives, some black Kalamata olives for breakfast.
boom. That's perfect.
Pour a little bit of
That's
olive oil on
perfect.
that, and just like some salt, some sea salt on that, and
Knock it out.
yeah,
But the key really to portion control
yeah,
is eating slowly. Like we can talk about, drinking water and you using smaller plates, but the most practical thing you can do, rain, sleet, hail, or snow, is just eat slower so your stomach has time to tell your brain that you're full.
got it.
Because that's what you're asking, really. You're asking me, how do I eat such a small portion? That's how you do it.
Okay,
Nice. So this is our first week. I will tell you guys, I do feel a lot stronger. I noticed when
yep,
I get on, because I do my cardio first usually, and I noticed that I started off and I hadn't been on the machine in quite a while. So I was probably like walking at like 2.5. Now I'm like 3.2, 3.3,
There
3.4.
we
Like
go.
it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. But so I feel stronger. And then the more you do, you feel good. My goal is not, I'm trying to change my outlook because before I would get really focused on pounds and I would get discouraged if I didn't lose a certain amount. But I think
okay,
focusing on how I feel and
yeah,
focusing on changing my way of thinking and interacting with food is making this different for me. So, and I'm really excited about people joining us with this journey. I actually told some women I'm in a Facebook group for perimenopausal women that are all noticing their body is different, right? And I think
Hmm.
that once you're doing something, then you feel like you're in control and you feel strong. You feel like you're not a victim to your body. You feel like you told me, like I'm like, who's in control? You are your body. Like you are
Hmm.
the things that you're tempted by. So I can definitely tell you guys that I am feeling different just in moving around, like not feeling so lethargic, feeling like
Hmm.
I have the energy to get up and go and do different things. So I'm definitely looking forward to us doing this together until July. Victor, what about you?
I am. I'm a work in progress. Let's start there.
I
No,
am too.
I'm trying to mix up my steps per day, and also when I remember when I came to Atlanta last year for about a month. I was in Atlanta for a month. I lost about 20 pounds
Hmm.
in about a month, roughly 18 pounds in a month, and I didn't do anything other than adjust what I ate, and that was it. I stopped eating. I pretty much had salmon and salad, soup, chicken salad. I had nuts and I had 85% dark chocolate for my snack, and that's all I ate. And a lot of water. I must have drank at least six. My goal was 8 ounces bottles of water. Those bottles of bottled waters. I
Hmm.
drank 6 of those a day, every day. I mean, sure, I had 6 bottles of water a day, and I only ate 2 meals a day, and it was pretty much salads and salmon and protein with, salmon or chicken. And that's it. And then I just did my walking. I didn't lift any weights. I didn't do anything extra. Now, I wouldn't say do that as a regular thing, but I think, like you said, James, it's all a mindset thing. And if you put your mind to it and you really put the time into it, it'll work. It'll happen. You might not lose 20 pounds in a month, but you might lose 5 pounds or 7 pounds. And like Crystal, what you said is correct. The scale is one thing, but how your clothes fit is another thing. So look at that portion. You might try some pants on, like, wow, my waist is smaller, or my, and so that's important.
I had that experience already. Yeah. And that makes you feel good to keep going.
Of course, yeah.
Before we get out of here, James, this week is going to be challenging for a lot of people. It's their first week on. If you do fall off, that's one of my biggest issues and challenges in past time have been, if I messed up, I would become so discouraged that I would just get all the way off, right? I would just be like, oh, I had an ice cream sundae, I'm done. But I'm restructuring my brain to not look at things because that's a trap to fail completely. Then you stop. So what advice would you have for anyone that starts this week and they find themselves, maybe having a bad day or maybe slipping a little bit? How can they stay focused and not totally just, get off the program and stop, and ultimately, fail themselves when they've just made one mistake? How do you keep pushing forward?
So 2 main things I would say. Number 1, just bake it in, right? Like, assume this is something new. And if you stumbled in the past, you're probably going to stumble this time. So give yourself some grace. Right? Like, whenever I start a new situation, that's why I had to start a week ahead of y'all. So I wouldn't be lying throughout these 8 weeks. Last week, I had my stumbling blocks, right? And so I factor it in. I know the first 3 days, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to do that. Cool, done. Then I would say, don't give yourself a cop-out. Like, you know how whenever you go to a store or you go to a restaurant, as soon as that waitress messes up like twice, let me talk to the manager because this is unacceptable, right? And so we don't accept unacceptable behavior from anyone else but ourselves.
I like that.
So it's like, hold yourself to the same standard you hold everybody else to in life. And I promise you'll get it together. Because that's what I do. And I'm only telling y'all sermons that I have to preach to myself. I'm like, listen, if you were at Quick Trip and somebody didn't say hi, you would feel away. So I'm going to need you to do X, Y, and Z and hold yourself to that standard. And then that's how you elevate, right? And that builds your self-respect and your self-love. And most importantly, your integrity, because you're thinking in accordance to your doing and your life is showing forward. So those are the 2 things I would do.
I love that. Well, you guys, if you want to join, it's not too late. You can email James today at buildyourtemplecoaching@gmail.com. We are on this challenge, the vacation challenge. It kind of feels like a vacation, not really. The word is vacation, But no, I think that, we all talk about self-love, but what I'm learning is that really self-love is shown by what you do with yourself. Right. So a lot of us say, oh, I feel fine. I love myself, but you don't if you're not doing what you need. Right. And so it's as simple as that. So this is an opportunity for us to love ourselves and to do it together so that there's accountability, there's kinship, there's community. And I'm excited. So, James, we thank you for being our leader in this. We definitely look forward to having you every Monday, joining us at 12:30. If you guys want to share with us your progress, if you want to post pictures, I think we'll start to do some of that on the channel so that we could just start to celebrate with each other and encourage each other. Keep each other focused.
Yes. That's it. Iron sharpens iron. So I appreciate you guys having me.
Thanks, James.
And I'll see you guys in 168 hours.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Well, we're off on the fitness journey. Victor, you're already doing those steps, and that's good. No, this is good.
I think fit it in today.
Yeah, I haven't done mine today. I had a busy morning, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
But before I get out of here, I do want to do our affirmation, because I think this is really important to do along with
Yeah.
um, our as we change our bodies mentally. We also have to make sure. I mean, physically, we have to make sure that our mental is different as well. And so, one of the things we're taking affirmations from my book, How to Win When Ish Happens. And I wrote this back in 2020 when we were all going through COVID, but I realized that it's very, very important, even for me who wrote the book, to go back and read it again and to
Yeah.
start my affirmations over again. And so I thought we could do these every day, or every time we have the reprint. This is day 3, which is this affirmation is: I possess within me everything needed to manifest the destiny that I choose. One more time. I possess within me everything needed to manifest the destiny that I choose. And the quote with today's affirmation is, everything you need is already within you. Don't wait for others to light your fire. You have your own matches. And I love,
Ooh, I like that.
you don't wait for others to light your fire. Don't wait for other people. Don't wait for circumstances. I remember talking to a girlfriend who was talking about getting married. Her boyfriend had proposed, and she was waiting to get married until she lost a certain amount of weight. And I remember telling her, I thought that was a huge mistake, because
Yeah.
you're missing out on life. Create that situation today, because all you're doing is creating a situation to self-destruct. Don't wait. Do it today. And I think that's really even, fits with this fitness challenge. A lot of us don't feel good where we are. We know we can be a better version of ourselves, regardless if that is your fitness, if that is where you are financially, if it's where you are emotionally, if it's a relationship that you know you need to get out of. Do not wait for someone else to light your fire. You have your own matches.
Much.
The only thing that can propel you through obstacles and hard work needed to accomplish your goals is having a strong mental capacity. How do we build our mental capacity? By saying affirmations, by speaking positive things, by putting things into existence. Faith comes by hearing, and the Bible says hearing by the word of God. But we have to
Yep.
make sure that whatever you put around you, you all listening to this broadcast, a lot of you are just our regulars, and you know that we're going to speak positivity into you every time you
Yes,
jump
we
on.
are. Yep.
And we want you to continue doing that in your own time, as well, because that's how you build that mental muscle, so that you
Yeah.
become mentally unpenetratable. And that's the goal, for all of us. And the great thing is, we are founding a community that is all about helping each other and holding each other accountable, because we all want to see each other be our best version. So that is
That was
the
amazing.
today. We have some exciting things. We're all getting ready to start celebrating Juneteenth on LennoxandParker.com. Please make sure you visit the website. We have some amazing stories and really inspirational things pertaining to our community, the African American community, and beyond. But we're really excited about June, because we know this is Black Music Month, but this is also Juneteenth. When I think of Juneteenth, I think about progression. I think about economic development, economic empowerment, and just, really, really looking at how our community can continue to thrive and grow.
Yeah, that affirmation was amazing. I like that. Have your own match. Light it yourself. Don't wait for somebody else. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
your own matches. Quit waiting on others to start your fire. So that's where we're getting off. That's where we're starting today, Monday, June 1st. The first day.
Man,
Remember,
already.
email James, buildyourtemplecoaching@gmail. Check in with us. We're getting ready to have an amazing month. Affirmations every single day of this month and next month, to make sure that we stay focused and stay mentally strong.
Yes, yes. Thank you guys for today, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
You guys on Wednesday. All right. Have a great one. Start strong. We love you
Yeah.
guys. Bye.
Peace.